showing you guys how to replace the TA4M connector. As you can see, this one on a rental, the pin got bent and completely broken off on the bottom. It's kind of sad. So you start off, you have 4 T6 screws that you'll take out, and I hope they're T6. This was a tad bit loose. It didn't strip anything, but T7 was too big. It's kind of wild. So then you have your belt clip that you'll end up having to press outward this way on each side to get that off. So once you do that, the entire thing can actually hinge. I don't know if I can do it with one hand. I'll try to pop this up and start back. The entire device can hinge, but as you can see, we have a ribbon cable that's going to the screen. So don't try to do, as I'm pretty sure many other people have done, and just hinge this thing open or disconnect the screen. Simply take your battery pack, open it, and then this assembly can hinge the other direction, which will give you much more room. So once you do have this little guy hinged, very hard to do with one hand, try to do it with my right hand, then you can take your connectors off on the top. So I'm going to take that little nut off there and the nut off here, and I'm thinking that the card will just slide downward after that, and then hopefully we can replace it. And if you're looking for the Shure part, I guess that's it. I don't know. We're a Shure dealer, and I could not find it on the pricing, but I guess it's the Z-F12C-1G. So I was able to get these guys off. The first one I just used this little small flathead, and it was able to get into the little notches, which hopefully this will focus, and able to get it off. This little guy, even though it does have notches on the other side, it wasn't coming off as easy, so I ended up just getting a very small pair of vice grips and very gently put it just on the top of that where I wouldn't scratch the casing on the belt pack any worse than it is, and able to get it off. So now we'll take a look and see if we can get the card out. There is one tiny screw that is still left. You can see it right here, and I'm going to end up having to take it out. So I know it is possible to disconnect the tabs on this ribbon cable going to the screen. I have just not had bad luck with, or good luck with ribbon cables that go to screens. So I'd love to keep this attached if possible. So I'm going to take that screw out. We'll see what happens. Try to hold the flashlight with one hand and the phone with the other. So once you're able to take this cover off here, which just kind of slides out, it exposes the ability to be able to hinge this up. And I've just got that kind of resting on that. That way we can actually get to the part we need to get to, which is this TA4M connector. It also has a ribbon cable, so I'm going to lift up this module and see what we can do to get it out. So I've got a little more than I bargained for here. So when you start barely moving this, there's a ribbon cable that's right there. And I barely moved it what it is right now for the gap, and as you can see, that has came loose. So that tells me this is not the way that Shure recommends for you to take this off. It'd be cool if they actually had some sort of guide on how to do it. So then I took the 2 screws off of this little guy that's right here, off of that. As you can see, this is now removed. So if you take that little sticker off, and then if you take the other one off, which they don't just peel off easy, ended up using hemostats and a pair of little forceps here. But when you get these guys off, let's see if I can do it with one hand again. Then the stickers were holding the entire apparatus down to the frame. So then at that point, you should be able to go this way and hinge this up, which will now give me the ability to reconnect this ribbon cable to where it goes, and we'll have a very good shot at getting to replace our TA4M connector. So if you're not very patient with electronics, or if you haven't really done much with electronics, this might not be a good thing to do for your Shure system. It might be worth sending it back to them, or you can send it back to us, whatever. I know they charge a ton. So if you ever need any Shure stuff, give us a call too. But we're going to go ahead and disconnect this guy, reconnect it, and we'll show you how to put it back together. So I wish I had better lighting where I wouldn't have to hold a flashlight with one hand But on these type connectors, you can see the black. I'll try to get my finger into there. The black here, you just pull those tabs. I actually got my flashlight. This isn't bad with this iPhone. So you'll take those tabs, and you will just pull them out. So you pop these little guys out. That ribbon cable pulls right out. We're gonna connect the other one and then push the black back in. And that's all that holds these crappy little things in place. So reconnected our charging, which that's pretty much all that is, just to charge their wireless batteries. And then pop this little guy in. It is extremely loose, which is just kind of frightening to me. Like, it's clamped, and I don't think it'll ever come loose because of the design of it, but even with it being clamped in, it is just not very tight. And that's as far as it goes. It looks like it's crooked, but that's truly how it goes. So I'm just not a big fan of these ribbon connectors, but at least it keeps me from having to solder these small connectors. So we'll put it completely back together and test this. But putting it back together is the just complete reverse of taking it apart. So we're gonna put this part back up into there. Attempt to reuse somewhat of these stickers. If not, we'll just use some electric tape. Then we'll put the screws back in. We'll see what happens. So we're back together. Used a heat gun to try to get these to re-adhere. They're still not doing great. But about to put some batteries in there and see if this guy fires up, and we'll test it to make sure that the charging still works since we messed with that, and we will test everything pretty much just to make sure it works. So in putting this back together, this little guy with hardly any pressure at all just popped back out. So I was able to get it back in without having to take everything back apart, now knowing how everything goes. But still, this is kind of a pain in the butt to replace the TA4M connector. So if you can just make sure that your people at your church or whatever event put the connector in correctly, it won't bend or crush the pins, which is kind of sad. So we'll hook it up, see what happens. So we've got it put back together. We're gonna shake it. We're gonna do all sorts of the magic and talk.
1, 2, check. 1, 2, check. 1, 2, check. 1, 2, check. 1, 2, check.
And it looks like we've got it fixed.
1, 2, check. Cool.
Not super easy.
No.
But at least it works. So please hit like and subscribe, help out the channel. You can follow us on all of these social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Oh yeah, we're on TikTok. It's different than all the other stuff we do. So definitely look at that. Have a great day. Thanks for watching.